All right, everyone. Welcome to today's special masterclass on how to recruit and build a team if you haven't had success yet. It's Simon Chan. I'm excited to be here. Hey, let's make this interactive and fun. If you can hear me and see me okay, let me know. Drop and say good. Hey, type in an 8 or 1, some number. Say yes. You ready to get going? Let's go. I'm here to get going, and we got a lot of good stuff going on. All right, Kim, great to see you. Terry Hopper, my friend. Nick, great to see you here. Bea, my longtime friend. Christina Taylor, good to see you. Lewis, hey, drop in a comment. Let me know where you are dialing in from. Okay, I'm interested. I'm out in Los Angeles. Just dropped off my son for baseball practice. Got a big baseball tournament this coming week. Extra hitting practice with his team, so I'm just in a parking lot. And I wanted to share this with you today. Sandy, great to have you on here. Sandy Upperneck, good to see you. Ava, all right, from Alaska. And I know we have some Philippines in the house as well. Eileen, JP, Chuck, good to see you out of Montreal. Nita from New York, all right. In Georgia. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to go for about like 45 minutes or so, at most an hour. We'll take some questions and answers as well. If you have a question, just type it in, and then we'll go over them towards the end. Sometimes I answer the questions right away, but I want this to be interactive and fun. How's that? All right, so let's get going. I'm going to turn off my video. We have a lot of things to share here. So first of all, you are a leader. I want to congratulate every one of you here for being a leader. Okay, it's not easy. I know it's the summer, and whether it's in late morning, some of you are watching the replay. I know out in Europe. I know some of you messaged me for the replay. That will be coming out. This is being recorded. We have Philippines early in the morning. But congrats to you. You're the leader because you want to grow your business. You made that, and also you made that decision to change your life, right? Hey, drop in a comment. When did you make that decision to, hey, I'm going to do something and change my life? When was that? For me, I will share a little bit about my story in a little bit. It's been over 21 years ago when I first started, okay? And it's definitely not, I'm going to share some of the mistakes I made, some of the funny moments in today's training. But when did you get started? And how long have you been in this profession? Okay, Abe, 10 years ago. Abe, great to see you, Abe Whitman, right? Brent Taylor, Terry from 5 years ago. JP, 2015. Nick, 6 years ago. Kim, 2 years ago. All right. We got people from different backgrounds. So I want to congratulate you because you made that decision. You have easily settled for the status quo, but you say, hey, enough is enough. I'm going to make a change, right? So congrats to you for doing this. And you made a great decision. We're in an awesome profession. Just to let you know, I got started with something back 21 years ago. I still earn residual income from it. This is one of the best pictures, my favorite pictures. This was taken about like a year and a half ago. Yeah, was, this was the middle of the day. Other dads are busy, but I got to take my 3 boys for baseball practice. I work with them. You follow me on social media. I'm very active baseball. All 3 play at a very competitive level. And to be able to do that was something very special. And that's what this profession allows you, not just the income, but the time flexibility to do things, right? And since then, thank you, Terry, for that. I've started MLM Nation, the podcast. I appreciate you all for listening. It's been over 15 million downloads, which has been going on for 9 years. And every day we're still doing it. We just came out with an amazing story this week from today's episode where it talked about how to be successful as an introvert by Nolly Robinson, right? So I'm going to share with you the stuff that has helped me out and also every top leaders. And what I want you to focus on is and what you will get. What you're going to get is success with a simple online system, right? A lot of times we tend to make things very complicated. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this online system. This number is very simple, a couple parts. Number 1, you leading yourself. Number two is, and I'll talk about that, is selling the 3 C's. And those are the ones specifically we're going to talk about today. So even if you never had success, or Tracy, you said you're a hobbyist for 20 years, how you can get people to join. Okay. I'm going to talk about what you do. Number three is work the DMO. I'll share with you what the DMO is. Number four, you got to be consistent. Number five is staying connected with a top leader, connected with a top earner, connected with your team. And number six is empowering leadership. And what that means is getting your downlines to create those quick wins, getting them fulfilled, right? And getting them, some will be customers, but again, the ones who really want it to duplicate and get results so that you can have that growth and building a global team. So that is what we're going to talk about. This is a simple online system we can all use. I've been doing this since back, like I said, way back. I struggled for a while. This is back in 2004. I've been building online. I know some of you may not even been born when these monitors are around, but I've been, I guess I'm kind of old. But I've been building online using Google AdWords, Yahoo Overture, different tools, and eventually built a team over using a simple online system, over 200,000 downlines. And I was the number one fastest growing distributor in my team. Then 2013, I realized I want to make an even bigger impact. I became a full-time trainer in 2013, and then started the podcast. And the podcast is something that we put in a lot of time and energy, even more recently, because it's something that I'm realized after just doing different things. This is why I've been so passionate about it, and that's why I've been still doing it for 9 years already, since 2015. Almost all the leaders in any of your companies who have been on here have been featured on my show, right? But I wasn't always this successful. In fact, once upon a time in 2013, I struggled for months, right? So I'll share something. I know the FTC doesn't like income checks, but I'm going to share with you some of the most, I'll say, embarrassing income checks that I'll never get in trouble, right? By showing is a big fat zero. Okay, big fat zero. This was a couple, I got started. This was a couple weeks after I got started, and a couple months later, another zero. Okay, this is then end of that month, zero, a donut. Then a couple months later, a bagel. Then a couple months later, a pancake. Okay, then a couple of months later, a goose egg. And by the way, these are not the same commission checks. I just earning zero, zero, zero. If you can relate to this, or you've seen the struggle, just like the way I do, type in a 2, if you can relate. Because that was me. And I can feel your pain, right? And my problem was, I was overwhelmed. And the question was, how can you get someone to join if you don't have any results? Like, I was pathetic. Okay, I was struggling. I'm sorry to say pathetic, but I felt pathetic, right? I don't mean to offend anyone if you were getting the same checks and donuts and bagels and eggs as I was, but I just felt stuck. And things seemed very complicated. Type in a 3 if somebody you feel things are so complicated. You see like this TikTok, you see this Instagram, you see attraction marketing, you see doing presentations, doing challenges. I seem so complicated. And then what happens is, I was just like you, I was overwhelmed. But you got to figure this out. Unfortunately, it's not as hard, right? Unless you figure this out, and you will tonight, right? You're wasting your money and time. You're wasting your money. And more importantly, you're wasting your money, you're spending this and that, you're doing your business, and most importantly, you're wasting your time, which you will never get back. You're going to lose your friends. Some of you may have lost your friends already, or the friends don't want to contact you because you're doing the network marketing the wrong way, or you get blocked on social media, right? People blocking you. My aha moment was, and this made me consistent. A lot of you, I talk about consistency, but consistency is important, but consistency is hard when you have too many things to do. Do you agree with that? Type in a 4. When you have so much overwhelming things to do, like you got to do TikTok, you got to do Instagram, how can you stay consistent? And then you got to do your personal development, and you got to talk to your team, you got to follow up with your customers. Heck, who in the world has all that time to do that? And you're doing this part-time. Hello? So I have to start thinking, You know, and I started working with a mentor. That was a big part of it. I'll talk a little bit more about his story. Why he was successful, and he started pushing me to become consistent, right? The reason why he was successful and he got me to be consistent was because he kept things simple. It's a simple business. Hey, network marketing is simple, right? Now, it's not easy, but simple. And I think the beautiful part of it, you don't need an MBA. You agree network marketing should be simple? Type in a 5. You agree it should be simple. And I think over the year, I think we all know it should be simple, but over the years, it's gotten more complicated, only more complicated. Like, I remember back in 2004, I was one of the first people who built online, right? I did forums, okay? This is before social media, before blogging. I did some online ads in Simple Page. And then what happened was blogging came along, which made it a little bit more complicated. And then then you had this social media thing came in. And okay, just when you starting to get the hang of Facebook, which by the way, I was not an early adopter to Facebook. Okay, my wife got me into Facebook. And then there was a Twitter, and then there was LinkedIn, and then there was Instagram came. And then the last couple of years, there's TikTok and all this stuff, right? I realized the key to success is simple. And as simple as this, people don't listen to what you say. I want you to write this down. This should be one of the first major aha moments, right? People don't listen to what you say. People listen to what you do. Okay? People listen to what you do. So how you show up? It's how you show up. That matter. You want to convince people? Like, I know, Tracy, you're bold enough. I congratulate you on here. You've been hobbyist for 20 years and still haven't given up. That's amazing, right? And that speaks a lot of volume because I struggle like that too, and I didn't give up. So your being a hobbyist reminds me of my journey. So people listen to what you do. So as long as you're in the game, and you can always immediately change that. So it's actually pretty simple. It's actually pretty simple. And I want you to write this down. Now, it goes back to what my mentor told me is the DMO. Work the DMO, and the DMO will work for you. Okay? Work the DMO, and the DMO will work for you. How many of you ever heard of the DMO before? I know a lot of you have. Type in DMO, right? Joe, I know you've been do the DMO, right? I know Christina Taylor, you do the DMO. Bear, you do the DMO. A lot of you know about the DMO, right? And DMO is part of the simple online system. It is the DMO is a big part of it. So what is the simple online system? Again, we talked about it, leading yourself, selling your 3 C's, work the DMO, consistency, stay connected, and empowering leadership. Okay. So I'm repeating myself again, work the DMO, and the DMO will work for you. So what does it mean by the system? I want to go over this real quick. And for today, we're going to go in detail of 2 of them. So first of all, is you got to lead yourself, right? The first person you got to lead is how can you lead someone? How can you get someone to follow you if you don't lead yourself? Now, leading yourself doesn't mean do dramatic big things. I'll talk about, well, we're going to spend a lot of time talking today about what that means, right? Could be making small changes. And those small changes actually become part of the 3 C's. Sell your 3 C's. So I'm going to use you as an example, Tracy, because you said you've been a hobbyist, right? So sell the 3 C's, meaning how have you changed? If you change, people will notice it. The C's is the commitment, your change. Sell the 3 C's. Number 3 is you work the DMO. All right, so what is the DMO? For those who don't know, DMO stands for Daily Method of Operation. Okay, keep it simple. Every day, this is what you do. You post 3 times a day. I call this the 3-5-5-5-3 system. 3 times a day. You can post 1 on your feed or 2 stories. Posting daily because people are watching you. Now, you can do a story, right? You don't know what I have any ideas. You can do a story right now. Let people know your daily lives, right? Like, so what should you post on the feed and what should you post on the story? It's very simple. It's like the feed is kind of like what you do, right? Or who you are. And then the story is like you're behind the scenes. What are you doing? So right now you're on this webinar, you're on this master class. Take a selfie and post it in there. Let people know, because people are following you, right? Number two is meeting new contacts. You have to be meeting new contacts every day. It doesn't matter if it's right now, like for me at my son's baseball practice, or meeting someone online. You have to be meeting people. And then is send out 5 invites. Okay, send out and reach out. Send out invites means asking someone, I'm working on something exciting and may or may not be for you. Would you be open to taking a look? As simple as that. Okay, inviting. Now, they may say no, that's okay. But you got to reach, most people, network marketers, don't even reach out to one person. Right? You can copy and paste and send the same message to 5 random people. And then you can do 5 follow-ups every day, and then send 3 people to watch your presentation. This could be a Zoom, or they could be just a simple video, a company video. But this is the DMO, and you work this DMO, and the DMO will work for you, right? Joe Luciano, I know you've been working the DMO, gets results. I've been working with Joe for a couple of years already now, right? So you can ask him. Now, next part is of the system is consistency. You got to be consistent, right? And for this how time today, I don't have the details to go into what makes you consistent, but you have to show up every day. Number 5 is you have to be connected with your team. Anyone here, let me ask you, not that connected with your upline? Or someone always say, maybe you connect your upline, but not connected with someone that's really successful. So you're kind of by yourself, or your friend will sponsor you. They're trying to figure things out. Drop in a 1 if that's you, right? That was me for the first couple of months. And that's why I was stuck. I didn't have anyone, right? The only time I would listen to a top earner would be on a weekly call, but I couldn't message the person. I couldn't connect with them, right? I didn't hear the stories. And you're lonely. If you're lonely like that, it's going to be really difficult to be successful, okay? Because you're not going to do the work. And if you're stuck, you need instant feedback. The next is you need to empower leadership, which is once you build a team, you need to have a leadership style that, number 1, is gets people quick wins, and also, which is very important for new distributors, and also to create fulfillment. Because without this empowering leadership, you may bring in sales, but you're not going to be building a team, and people are going to quit. Okay, so this is a simple online system. Okay, those are the stuff we just talked about. For those, by the way, we have just to answer some of your questions here. This is being recorded, yes. And for those who the recording will be sent out probably late in probably 3-4 hours once I get home. But if you stay to the end, yeah, I'm going to share with you just some bonus for you all. It's a free coaching call, with me. That's you don't have to pay anything money for a select group of people. If you're serious, I'll tell you how to get that. Okay, you don't need to buy anything. I just want to serve you, serve the industry, and get a good couple of testimonials. Okay, that's what I've been focusing on, my business. I've kind of relaunched the coaching program. I want testimonials. I'm offering a free coaching call. I'll tell you at the end how to get this. Okay, anyway, let's talk about the system yet. How to recruit and build a team if you haven't been successful. We talk about a simple online system. The first part is leading yourself. Let's go over this in detail. Okay. Leading yourself. I still remember when I was stuck and I decided to go and buy my first book. So how many of you want to know what my first book I ever purchased was? Right? First book I ever purchased was this book, was Selling 101 by Zig Ziglar. And at that time, it's so ironic because I wasn't, definitely not the leader I am today. At that time, I could easily spend, $30 on dinner, $30 on drinks, or $50, $100 on a night out of town. But I was too cheap to buy a book. And the reason I bought this book was back then it was like $8.99, way back 20 something years ago. I bought it. So I thought I needed to sell, right? And I totally got it all wrong. I didn't understand. I thought I was selling. Let me ask you this. What are you really selling in your business? What are you selling in your business? I thought I was, at that time, I thought I was selling health supplements. I was selling health. I was selling wellness, right? Let me ask you, what are you really selling? What are you really selling? Me? Yes. Lumel, good to see you, right? Sell for yourself. But more importantly, right, before you sell yourself, what business we're in, we're selling dreams. We're the dream selling business. Think about this. None of you would be on this, watching this masterclass, whether it's watching a live or watching a recording, if it wasn't for dreams. You're in this profession for dreams, not because of whatever product or service you're selling. That's as simple as that, right? Am I right? Type it a one if you agree. We're in the dream selling business. And the second part is people buy the dream and how you show up. So the second part, a lot of you got it right? You're selling yourself. So if you are not consistent, why would someone believe and buy that dream? Does that make sense? Why would someone buy that? If your dream is so good, then why would you not show up every day? Right? If your dream is so good, why would you just be a hobbyist? Well, if you're not consistent, you're not working the DMO, doing the same thing over and over again, then that dream is not that good. So remember I said how this business is very simple. You're so worried. So a lot of times we worry about the training, the right words to say. People don't listen to what you say. They listen to what? To what you do. Here's an advanced question for some of you. How many of you feel that when you first started, and some of you who have had some success, maybe you had a couple of customers, you got one or two people. You have more success when you first started early on, even though you didn't know it that much, than now. So you know a lot more now, but you had more success before. Type in a two if that's you. Right? A lot of you. The reason why, right, is because when you first started, you took massive action. You were like ignorance on fire. There's a saying, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. So it doesn't matter if you know everything, but you're not as excited, and because of that, you're not showing up every day. Right? It's almost the more you know, the worse it is. And also because of overwhelm. Oh, I got to do TikTok. I got to do Instagram. I got to do LinkedIn. I got to do stories. I got to do reels. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. And then you end up actually not showing up. And then people actually stop believing in you. Because again, people don't listen to what you say. They listen to what you do. If the dream is so good, why are you not showing up every day? That's what they're asking themselves. If this has been good, drop it in 8. Type in 88. 88 is a lucky number in Chinese, by the way. 88, right? That was one of my biggest moments. Keep it simple. People just buy how you show up. If you show up all the time, people will get you, right? And here's another one. I'm glad this has been helpful to a lot of you. You already are more successful than your prospect. What does that mean? Be honest. How many of you feel sometimes when you talk to people, you can't recruit this person because they're way more successful than you? They make more money than you. Their life seems to be better. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And you're hesitant to reach out to them. Type in a 4. I was like that. I felt hesitant to reach out to my boss because I haven't to make any money, right? But here, I want you to change your thinking. And this is what I've been leading yourself. You already are more successful than your prospects. Yes, you're already more successful than your prospects. What I mean by that is because you took action, right? Think about this. If I was going to, let's say I live in Los Angeles, and who out here lives in the Midwest? Anyone live in like Texas, or I know Texas is going through a big bad hurricane right now, Illinois or somewhere in the middle, right? Like Nick, you're in Chicago, right? So what's better for you if you wanted to go to LA? Okay, Nick is in Chicago and he wants to go to Los Angeles. Is it better for him to crawl in the beat up car going 10 miles per hour west, or going 70 miles per hour going east towards New York? What would be better? If you wanted to go to Los Angeles, take a beat up old car going slowly 10 miles west, or going 70, 80 miles per hour in a nice Ferrari going east? west, right? Even though slow, because you're going the right direction. So, Nick, you're going the right direction already. Your prospect, it doesn't matter how much money they make, how successful they are in other things, they're going the wrong direction. Every one of you, that's why I congratulate you. You are that leader already. I congratulate you. You are that person because you're going in the right direction. So you're already more successful. Because you know, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to get closer, closer to your destination while that person's going further and further away. Can you please remember? You're already going more successful because you're in the right direction. Now, even if you're stuck, just say Nick is stuck. It's going really slow. It's stuck in mud. But his car is headed towards west. He's still better than someone going fast, going the wrong direction. Hey, if this makes sense, drop in a 1. Let me know if this makes any sense. This is so huge, right? It's all about mindset. It's leading yourself. That's what the first part of the simple online system, leading yourself. You're already more successful. Stop thinking you're not successful yet. You know what? No one's ever successful yet. Okay, if you're thinking, oh, I need to hit that income level, you're never going to be that, because success is a journey. When you get to that level, I'm sure there's going to be 20 other people you find that, oh, they're way more successful than you, and they did it way faster. You're never going to feel successful. You got to understand you're already successful already because you took action. Now, talk about leading yourself. How do you become the person people want to join? Number 1, okay, this is the hard stuff now. Change is necessary. You need to change. Now, my late mentor told me, in order for you, Simon, in order for your income to change, I thought, I want my income to change, yes. Well, he said, in order for your income to change, you must change. Well, I don't want to change. Well, if you don't want to change, then your income's not going to change. We all must change. Even for me, to take the podcast to the next level, to empower more of you, to help you all, to lift up the profession. I need to change. We all need to change. So think about what areas you need to change. To keep your values, keep your morals and ethics, but everything else needs to change. Your habits. Some of you are hobbyizing the business. You need to change. Change could be like, instead of seeing, we just gave you simple change. Instead of seeing yourself, I'm not successful yet. You're already successful. So sometimes change is difficult. So you do that by visualizing success. Visualize success. Most of you, if you're stuck, it's because you're visualizing negativity. You're visualizing failure. Before you even reach out to a prospect, you're assuming no. That's why, remember I should share with you, a lot of you had more knowledge than before, but you used to have better results because you're excited. But now over the years, because of over months, you had rejections, people quitting, and you assume you have a lot of negativity. So when you're negative, your excitement's not there. You don't show up all the time. Right? So you got to visualize success. The next one is you already are more successful than your prospects. Right? We talked about you're already more successful. So visualize success. You know, how many of you struggle with follow-ups? Type in a 2. If you struggle with follow-ups, or you forget to follow up, or you're scared to follow up, right? The reason you're scared to follow up is very simple. It's because you're not visualizing success. I want you to visualize success. Stop saying, I can't do it. Stop assuming no. Instead, assume yes. Now, assuming no, that's, it's a fantasy because it hasn't happened yet, right? When you say this person's going to say no, is that a fact or is that an opinion? That's just simply opinion. So if you're going to come up with fantasy opinions, you might as well come up with a good opinion. Visualize. When I reach out to people, I'm always visualizing success. I always assume the person will say yes. Next one is you got to be before you become, right? Before you become the leader, start acting like that leader. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying lie. Just start talk confidently like a top leader. And if you were earning, a lot of you, okay, if you were earning $10,000 a month, would you show up differently? Type in the 3. Will you talk differently? So Nick, why don't you start talking like that now? Lumel, why don't you do that now? Sandy, why don't you do that now? Then you're not lying. But again, if you're not, it's because you're assuming negative again. You're not visualizing success. Okay? Brent, if your problem and nobody ever replies back, right? Even if they give me a time or day, that's a lot of reasons for that. It's because you're not showing up on social media. Also, you don't have enough posture, right? And I can talk about more into detail about that. Okay, you can ask me questions about that. If you confirm and you give them a takeaway, chances are people will follow up. It's also how you approach them as well. But we'll talk about it in a little bit. Okay, that's part of the DMO issue. So I want you to talk confidently like a top leader. Hey, Nicole, hey, good to see you. Okay. Copy how top leaders think. That's why I do the podcast, ML Nation podcast, 814 episodes. My favorite question is, what is your worst moment in the business? Right? The reason I ask that, because I want you all to copy how people think. Top leaders also go through tough times, also go through rejection, also go through a lot of the crap that you're going through, but they think differently. And that's why they get different results. Stop being and acting like that leader. Next is very important, right? Talk about leading yourself. You have to invest in yourself. Okay, when you invest in yourself, it could be buying a book, listening to a podcast, or attend events, working closely, go travel and go to your top diamonds house and spend a weekend with them or day with them, go to convention, invest in coaching. You need to invest in yourself, because when you invest in yourself, let me ask you, does your confidence increase or decrease when you invest in yourself? Right? It could be just buying a book. Does your confidence increases? And when it increases, what happens? You get more excited. People are buying your excitement. Remember, people buy your excitement. That's why I'm talking about. You got to lead yourself, because you're selling dreams. And people buy the dream and how you show up. So if anything increases self-confidence, you need to do that. So here's some action steps. Okay, number one, choose a leader and copy their routine. All right, choose a leader. Choose your upline leader. Now, I'm not talking about someone who is not making a full-time income, at least a full-time income in network marketing. Okay, choose a leader. So someone that's one of your best friends that brought you in, that's not the leader I'm talking about. If you don't have a leader, go listen to ML Nation podcast. Okay, 814 episodes where it talks about how they think. Okay, you can choose someone to follow. You can choose the way I follow, I think, whatever. But choose a leader and copy the routine and copy how they think, how they deal with problems, their attitude. When people say no to them, when they drive 2 hours for a meeting and the person doesn't show up, how do they think? What do they do with their time? Do they just mope around? What do they do? I'll tell you what happens. If a leader drives 2 hours and doesn't show up, you know what they do? They just go to the local Starbucks and start prospecting people. I know that's what they would do. Or they go online and start meeting people online. They would just go to a coffee shop and try to meet people there, and on their phones, they'll meet people. That's what they would do. So copy how they think. Okay. So action steps: choose a leader, copy the routine, copy how they think, and find a way, doesn't matter how small or big, invest in yourself. Right? So again, success is with a simple online system. The 6 parts to it. We just covered number 1. Okay, was that helpful? I'm gonna take a sip of water and drop in 188 in the comments. It was helpful. I am using lots of energy here. I need to take a sip of water before we talk about number 2. We're not even done yet. All right, so number 2 is people buy the 3 C's. Or in other words, sell the 3 C's. Sell your 3 C's. Okay, so I'm glad this has been helpful to every one of you. So what are the 3 C's? I'll share with you how I convinced my friends. Once I figured this simple system, right? People don't listen to what you say, they listen to what you do. And work the DMO, and the DMO will work for you. So my friends, this is back 20 years ago when I started figuring it out. My friends would ask me to come over to watch the Laker game, because I'm a huge basketball fan. They would tell me to watch the basketball game. And as much as I wanted to, I didn't. Because I knew that people will buy your change. So I told him I can't. And he said, what do you mean you can't? All right, because at that time I made a decision. At that time, I was at 4:30 p.m. at my job at the time. Even though I was at home, I was going to commit myself to building the business. And I was like, I can't. I got to work on my business. And this is, by the way, when I was barely making any money, less than $100 a month. But I figured it out. I had a mentor that held me accountable. I knew this. All I had to do is work the DMO. I'll eventually get results. I was all right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it 5 years. I'm going to do this, work the DMO every day, 5 years. And I tell my friends, like, I can't because I work on my business. And you know what my friends said? My friends, they were like, what? You're still doing that thing? You make money with that thing? I'll tell you, they gave me no respect. They didn't even call it business. They called it that thing. Now, how many of you have friends like that? Type in a one. They have no respect for what you do, right? And, you can like convince them, and what happens, I highly don't recommend. I do not recommend you to try to convince them because they just get into an argument and they're not going to be convinced. Instead, outlast them with your consistency. And you know what I just said to him? If only you knew how great it was, you missed the game too. And I just wouldn't show up. I didn't go to the game. I didn't watch TV with them. I hung out, work on my business. But again, people don't listen to what you say. They listen to what you do. Work that DMO and the DMO will work for you. So that's eventually all my friends became a customer or joined because they saw that Simon was serious. Because remember, we're selling dreams. If the dream is that good, you wouldn't be watching TV, right? Correct? You'd be building your business. So I just I realize I can't argue with my friends. I'm just going to let them see my actions. People buy or change. That's the first C. So my friend said, oh, you know what? Simon's doing this thing. Well, maybe it's for real. It's like, this is like 6 months later, you're still doing that? I was like, if it wasn't working, why would I be doing it? I'm still doing it, right? And then, oh yeah. I basically convinced them by my actions, right? Yeah, if only you knew how great it is. Remember, we're selling dreams, and you got to show up, and you got to act and be that leader. Remember, be that leader. I was not that leader, but I was doing the actions of a leader, and that's how you convince people. Hang out to 2 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I was. That time I was still single. I'll hang out, but then every Saturday, afterwards at 2 a.m., I was like, I got to go home. It's getting late. 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And my friends were like, well, why you go home? Just hang out a little longer. So I got to wake up for 8 o'clock training call. So what 8 o'clock training call on a Saturday? I was like, well, if you knew the business was so good, you'd be attending the training too. It's $1 million business. I got to show up. Oh, slowly, my friends started to get convinced. Do you guys follow? People buy your commitment. That's how you sell your commitment. That's why it's so important now. This is before I even have social media. Everyone who's on this webinar right now, you should take a selfie, a screenshot, whatever, and show yourself you're on this webinar because you're committed. It's not easy. I know for some of you, like they call 9 a.m. in the morning, Singapore, 9 a.m. in the Philippines for a little while. Some of you watching the replay in the UK late at night. Some of you even live in Germany watching this. Australia in the middle of the day. In the US summer, you sacrifice your summer. You're committed. That gets people attention, right? You lead by example. You set the example. And people say, you still doing that thing? Absolutely. You show up consistently. Think of this. If the $1 million dream was so good, why would you not show up? You show up all the time. You go down to a restaurant in your town, and the restaurant's not open today, but tomorrow's open. And then by Saturday it's closed. And Monday has its weird working hours. Then do you think that restaurant's doing well? If people are watching you, what will you think of your business? You have to be consistent. Consistency. That's why it's part of the system, right? Consistent what? Work that DMO, and the DMO will work for you. What's that DMO? We talked about this. Posting every day. If you didn't post today, go take a screenshot of this webinar and say, you can just say, Had a great time at today learning how to grow my business. Simple. Well, people, why, you student on business? Yeah. You're out in Texas, 8:40 p.m. I'm still on this training. I'm not watching TV because I love it. This is $1 million business. I'm committed. I'm all in. See, the reason why a lot of people don't join is you're not all in. By the way, the stuff that I'm teaching you right now, you need to start making money to do this. Do you need to start making money before you start doing this? Or you can start doing it right now, immediately. Immediately, right? And that is how you recruit people before you actually get results. It's about your confidence, your consistency, your change, and showing up every single day. Okay. People are buying your actions. So here's some action steps. Okay. For the second part of the system is work the DMO. Work the DMO. Now I know a lot of you are busy, you have family, you have kids, you have jobs. The way to stay consistent is you got to create a routine. If you don't have a routine, it's not happening. Okay. If you don't have a routine, it is not happening. I guarantee you. A lot of you, every one of you, by the way, are consistent in some things. I guarantee you, you took a shower or bath in the last 24 hours, right? Hopefully you did. If not, go get one right after this. We're about to end soon. But you took a bath, doesn't matter how busy you are, you have a routine. Some of you take it in the morning, some of you take it in the evening. Some of you take twice a day. I don't know, but there's a routine. You make your morning coffee, there's a routine. Anything, some of you exercise consistently, there's a routine. Every one of you who do something consistently, there's a routine. So create a routine for the DMO, right? And then invest in yourself. Why? Change. I'll share another story. One time, this is my first event. Some of you may have heard me share that story. I went to San Diego, my first event. I didn't have any money, but my mentor basically forced me, saying, if you don't go, I'm never going to work with you again. He was pretty harsh. So I went, but it wasn't easy. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, slept 90 minutes, and I took 2 downlines there. And my friends thought I was crazy. But when they saw my commitment and investing the money that I didn't really have, I just put on a credit card to go to my company convention, that impressed them about how real the business was and that I did have a real dream, not some scam. That was really all in. Okay. So let's talk about a recap of what we just talked about today. Number one, what are we selling? Right? What are we selling? Everyone, what are we selling? We're selling dreams, right? We're in a dream selling business. And number two is after dreams, you're selling yourself. Yourself, how you show up. And how you show up will determine whether they believe the dream is real or not. And then what you have to do, you got to increase your leadership, right? Increase your leadership, leading yourself, getting yourself to show up every day, investing in yourself, being that leader. Think like a leader. Start showing up that as a leader, and people get convinced. Think about this. In all your companies, people from different companies here, your upline leader, none of them really knew what they were doing when they started. Do you agree? They didn't know everything. Type in a 3. They didn't know what they were doing, but they showed up consistently. They had a faith, right? They have faith in it. They're excited. And because of their actions, the visualization, they visualize themselves being that leader, they're the vision, the son of dream. They start showing up every day. People start following them. Okay. People buy the 3 C's, right? You'll see the 3 C's, sell the 3 C's. That's what they buy. So I want you to sell your 3 C's. And what are the 3 C's? Change, commitment, right? How have you changed? If you want to get a product, I didn't even mention this. If you want to get customers, just sell your transformation with the product or service you have, right? Commitment. Great example, commitment. Let them know that you're on a training today. Now you're watching a live when you're recording. Consistency. Always being consistent. And then work that DMO. Right? Work the DMO today. I promise you, if you work the DMO, you may not get results in the first week or two, but within the first month, you're going to start getting people interested. You're going to get presentations, right? Talking about posting every day on social media, 5 new contacts, 5 invites, 5 follow-ups. You get 3 people to watch a presentation. Make sense? Okay, let me just make a little change here. Oh, I just realized that a little typo. Okay, so some action steps here. Okay, actually we talked about that. Oops. Six. Here we go. Sell the 3 C's. All right. Success with a simple system. This is the overall simple system because the time-wise we went through 2 of them: leading yourself and sell your 3 C's. Okay. Future training, we do work the DMO, consistency, staying connected is very important, and how to empower your team with empowering leadership. If you want more of this, I'll share with you. I can definitely help you with it. But don't forget, you're selling dreams, you're selling yourself, and sell your 3 C's. So if you are serious, okay, if you're serious about me going into more detail to help you, or maybe you have prospects who don't show up, or any part of the simple online system, I'm offering a free, I want testimonials right now for my marketing purposes. I'm offering a free coaching call, okay, to anyone, everyone on here or watching this replay for the next week. Okay, all you have to do is email me. Here's the specific instructions. By the way, how many of you are serious? You're still on here, 39 people. We started with 41 and 39 is still here. So again, you are that leader. I really commend you for being here. If you are serious, send me an email. Just say you were on the masterclass and you want a free coaching call, and I'll send you a link where you can book a time with me. Okay. And I just want to make a positive impact and lift up the profession. So as we end, I just want to let you know that so send an email, simon@mlnation.com. This famous picnic in 2004. This is in Pacific Palisades Park in Santa Monica. And I finally got connected to a top income earner. And the top income earner, said, Simon, are you really? And now, first of all, I was like, thank you. I can't believe I'm working with this guy. His name was Steve. I wrote about him in my book. I can't believe I'm actually on the phone with him because before I wasn't connected. My upline wasn't a leader, but somehow I was lucky in the right place in the right time. And in part of his business, he needed to work with someone. He reached out to me. Actually, my upline connected. He reached out to me and he said, Simon, you really want to be successful? I said, yes, 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 yes. I think, are you willing to do anything? I think, yes, 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 yes. He called me early that morning. I remember it's a Friday. And it's a Friday, right? The weekend was the summer. Actually, no, it felt like a summer. It was actually, yeah, in the spring. And what happened was he called me a couple hours later, and I was having a picnic at Pacific Palisades Park. And he called me again, and he said, what are you doing? What have you done? I was like, I'm having a picnic. And he said, what the F picnic? And I was shocked that he was cussing at me. I was like, well, it's Friday, right? People got to relax. It's a beautiful day. People got to relax, right? It's like, no, there's no prospects to talk to right now because everyone's in a weekend mode. And he's like, no wonder you're not making any money. So there's people out there. Like, a couple of hours ago when I called you, you said, thank me for mentoring you and you do anything to be successful. And now you're at this picnic. Go out there and work that DMO. And I thought, well, I don't have anyone. Well, go find someone. He actually literally said, go find neighbor, go open your college yearbook, your high school yearbook. By the way, this was before social media, okay? Call your friends of friends, get a dog, anyone. I just need to present. You need to bring someone so we can present to them and get a check on that Friday. And he pushed me hard. And I really, at that time, I was like, this guy's a jerk. I couldn't stand him. But looking back, that was the best conversation I ever had because he taught me, Simon, all you have to do, whether you like it or not, you got to work the DMO and the DMO will work for you. And that night, after he pushed me, and I felt bad because I did say to him, I'll do anything to be successful. And I lied to him. So I went out there, found someone that actually, that's how I purchased leads to, which I totally don't recommend. Caught a guy for a presentation. And after 30 minutes, the guy didn't sign up. And I had no one else. Was assignment the reason you have no other people to follow up with? Because you haven't been working the DMO consistently. And that was true. I wasn't. I was treating it like a hobby. Once in a while, I'll contact people, but not every day. But that was the day that changed my life. I was like, I'm going to do the business, work the DMO. It's very simple. And if you keep it simple, you're going to be consistent. And that's how I create the routine. I'll show up every day a little bit. But You all are awesome. You're the leader already that your community needs, right? You're the leader. You're giving, I love this profession because it changes lives, not only just money wise, but you're going to learn things that makes you a better mother, makes you a better spouse, makes you better, set a better example for the community, speaking, your church, in the gym, in the schools, right? And, you're on here still. Everyone's on here. You deserve it. You deserve success. And remember, you already are more successful than your prospects. And no matter how bad your background is, or how messed up it is, how challenging it is, or Tracy, you've been a hobbyist for 20 years, there's tons of leaders just like you. Go listen to over any of the 814 episodes of the MLM Nation podcast. There's someone just exactly like you that became successful. So that's all I have for you. Let me just turn on the webcam. I'm glad this was helpful to you all. Appreciate the comments here. I love the interaction. You all deserve to be successful. My friend, great to see you on here as well. I really appreciate you, especially what happened with us. So I really appreciate you being on here. So if you want, again, for those who want a free coaching call, send me an email, simon@mlmnation.com. Send the email. Today is Monday. Send it out before Wednesday, and I'll send you a link to schedule it, or just send it right away, because even after Wednesday, if my schedule's booked up, I want to do these calls this next week. All right. Last thing, any questions? You're welcome, Terry. I appreciate you. Any questions? Abe, great to see you. Any questions? Q&A. I promise you I'll do Q&A. Or I think Brent, Harry, you had a question before. Did you have? I'll let you. If no other questions, we will wrap it up. I'll hop on here for Nick. Great to see you. Hopefully that was helpful. And by the way, even let people know about MLM Nation. Listen to the podcast, right? Like I said, get inspired. Copy how leaders think. All right, everyone. No other questions. Okay, there's a question. What would you answer? This is a great question. What would you answer, right, when they ask you how much you're earning? That's a great question, right? That happens, right? So I was like, hey, you know what? I don't let people know how much I'm earning. It's a private thing, but the business has been awesome. If it wasn't awesome, I wouldn't be doing it. Now, how much would you want to earn? If you did do this, how much would you want to earn? That's how you answer that. So you throw it back at them. All right. Again, it's not the words you say, it's how you say it. I don't tell people how much I make. All I know is the business is awesome. I've been doing this for 10, like Bayer, I've been doing this for 17 years. If it wasn't that good, why would I still be doing it? How much would you want to earn? Okay, that's how you answer that. Yes, Stacy, yes, this is being recorded. It will be emailed to you later tonight and probably like 3 hours from now after I get back home. How many times do you follow up? Generally, you follow up you can follow up 3 times in the first 7 days or so. And afterwards, the answer is you follow up forever, right? But the frequency is you follow up 3 times, 2 or 3 times in the first 7 days. And then afterwards, you follow up every 3 to 6 months. It's, hey, how's it going? How you doing? And here's a good follow-up, right? Again, selling your vision, selling the dream. Say, hey, so just say I was going to follow up with you, Stacy. No, actually not Stacy. Who asked this question? Yeah, Shonda. Hey, I know you were not interested in the business, but the business has been awesome. Our team is growing. Would you know anyone that wants to earn an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month? That's how you follow up. I know you were not interested, but the thing has been awesome. Do you know anyone that wants to earn an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month? Okay, that's how you answer that. Tracy, what if you don't have a presentation? If you don't have a presentation, book that coaching call with me. I'll teach you how to make your own presentation pretty easily. All right. All right. Any last questions? All right, everyone. I appreciate you all. Thank you for, again, I loved interaction, love your heart and desire, and your desire to be successful. It reminds me when I first started. Remember to keep it simple. For those who are interested, email me, Simon ML Nation, for that free coaching call, and I will send you a link. We can schedule that. Look forward to helping you all, and spread the good word. Let people know. Let people know about ML Nation, and I'll see you on the next one. I know, Carol, you have a last question. Someone raise your hand. Carol, if you do you have a question before I hop off? This would be the last question. Okay.
No, I did not. That was an accident. I was trying to give you a heart.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you all. Thank you for the heart. And everyone, go out there. Remember, don't forget, we're in the profession to help others. So go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless.